if there's any questions, but it's in the brochure.
Yeah.
And you'll see a lot about it.
Okay, and so yes, we're going to kind of focus on MIS and finance on this panel, but if we have a question that any of the accounting firms want to answer and have put their 2 cents in, that's why we've invited you all in here to do that, to get 7 different perspectives on things. But we have Dr. Anthony May, he's representing the finance faculty. We have Dr. Me, not even going to attempt the other part, I'm sorry. And she's MIS and one of our MIS professors. And then
Sean Gerber, I'm with Coke. I'm a Chief Security Information Officer with one of the Coke companies.
okay, and so we're going. Eric's gonna. We've got a couple questions that we've got queued up to go ahead. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to raise your hand, and we can get them answered for you. So hope you guys enjoy.
Well, I have to do it first.
Yes, you do.
So who has this?
They may have some, you have some opening
Yeah.
remarks?
Yeah.
maybe?
Exactly. If you guys want
Anthony
to
or
start.
Dr. Ming, or, yeah.
I was just going to
No,
say,
Hey, Dr. Me. Can I put a plug out there
Just
for you?
relax.
Can I put,
Everybody make sure you get food and drink.
can I put a plug out there for you, Dr. Me? There's an IT engineering job fair next Wednesday. So if you're MIS, I was just in class Wednesday and met a guy that works at Hawker or Textron, and their business partner in IT database management, right?
Exactly.
And he just graduated. He's like,
He's a director. He's high up.
Just graduated. He's director. So he started MIS. So don't, if you're MIS too, just please go for it too. Let's see here. Sure. Whoop. My first question is going to be, what would you do if you were in our shoes today?
okay, I'll go.
I don't want to pick. I want to get a diverse answer.
So I'm a finance professor, so I'm thinking about these questions, from the perspective of a finance major. I'm curious, how many finance majors do we have here?
I was
Okay.
a minor.
Okay, good.
MIS.
Okay.
Good decision.
So, there's a lot of different ways to answer this question. I think, one of the things I would do that, if I could go back in time, I would have explored more internship opportunities. So, there's a lot of different ways to benefit from going and getting an internship. So, not only are you likely to get knowledge and experience that is going to enhance your human capital and make you more attractive to employers. But the other thing about going out and working as an intern for a bank or for a corporation is that when I remember back as an undergrad, one of the things that troubled me all the time was that I don't know what I want to do. Right? I don't know. And the reason you don't know is because you don't really have a lot of information about, will I like this job? Will I enjoy being a credit analyst at a bank? Or will I enjoy working as a, capital budgeting analyst at Coke? It's very hard to know, right? And so it's very hard to make, a decision about what area do I want to go into. And so I think going and working in those internships gives you that first-hand experience about, well, will I enjoy this line of work? Will I not enjoy this line of work? Okay, and so that's one thing that I would have been more active in pursuing as an undergrad was going after internships. Some other things that I would suggest. I guess I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, but joining honor societies like Beta Alpha Psi. That's a very good way to set yourself apart. In addition, I think anything you can do to stand out from the crowd. So, for example, for a finance major, one of the things that we hear from a lot of the employers, a lot of our corporate employers, is that we'd like to have our hires who are hiring our finance majors, we would like them to have more accounting. And so one of the things we've done is we've added an additional accounting class in our finance major. I would say, to go even further, I don't think you can get enough accounting. If you're going to go work in the corporate arena, in corporate finance, I think it's difficult to have too much accounting. And so I suggest for all my students who want to go work in corporate finance with a finance degree, I tell them, if you've got the time and the money for it, go get a minor in accounting. And I believe that you're going to get a significant return on that investment. So ways like that to kind of stand out from the crowd, and that does make you stand out from the crowd as a finance major. I mean, our accounting program has a very good reputation of being a rigorous, good, reputable program. And so if you can go get a minor in accounting along with your finance degree, that's a credible signal to employers that you know your stuff. You know your basic intermediate accounting, in addition to your finance degree. And so things like that can set you apart, and then exploring those internship opportunities. I think, to me, that's a big one.
You took all my answers. So I'm just going to add to what he said already, because for those who don't know what you like to do, I didn't know what I liked to do when I was your age. I still don't know what I like to do. But be a little bit more flexible. Say, for example, I had this student that changed his major like 5 times. Now, I'm not asking anybody in this room to do that, but sometimes it takes that much to discover about what you really want to do. Okay, so this student, I don't think I should mention his name here. He actually let me talk about his story all the times, as much as I want. But he had this responsibility of being a dad, and already switched his major 4 times, and came in his I believe junior or senior year to one of my classes, and then he realized that, oh, maybe MIS is what he wanted to do. He didn't actually had a gut to go to his parents and say, okay, one more time, I'm going to switch my major. So what he did was he graduated with that 4th major of his, and came back to school after he got his full-time job and doing another major. So what I learned from this story is, you don't want to treat education just like a car. I bought this car, I already have this major, so I'm going to have to stuck with it for 5 years. That is kind of to me, you are limiting yourself the opportunities. So be a little bit more flexible. Take some classes that you're not even required to do. I want to do like a Y testing class at WSU, but don't do that before you come to my class. But that, there are a lot of things that you can explore, and it doesn't have to be a senior level classes, and go talk to professors, a lot of students. How many of you guys have been to your professor office before? Maybe not like half of you guys here. I don't know about the other half, what you guys been doing. But do that, go talk to them, and because what we are offering to you guys today here is more kind of like a broad opinion, but you want a little bit more, some opinion and advice or recommendation that is a little bit more tailored to you. So we like to get to know who you are, and I think I can speak on the behalf of the core office as well. So take advantage of that. Use us. And I say this in my class. I don't say this to people, not even my husband, like use me. But please, take advantage of this.
So I'm going to echo what they've all said. I'll give you a little bit of background on myself, because I'm not the typical college student. I went to school many years ago, and I went to school to be an airline pilot. I actually flew commercial aviation for a while. And I flew military B-1 bombers out here at McConnell when the B-1s were here. So I did not go to school to be an MIS or finance or any of these things. And so when I ended up when the B-1s went away, I had an opportunity to do a complete shift in my career. And I became a hacker and did that for 10 years. I used to break into military installations, and it was really cool. We'd actually sing our own theme songs we're breaking in, because we physically break in. But it was cool. I know how to get into doors really well now. But the thing is with that is, I had a degree. I went to school. Now, to be an airline pilot, it's not cheap. I spent, at the time, this is back in '94, so it kind of dates me how old I am, but I spent about $100,000 on going to school. Now, $100,000 back then was a lot of money, and it's still a lot of money today, but it was really a lot back then. And I basically went and pitched that to be a hacker. And the reason was, though, is I wasn't anchored on the fact that that's my degree, that's what I've always done, I've got to stick with that. I saw a new and upcoming change in the world, and I went and I pivoted, knowing that in Coke, and you guys as accounting people understand sunk cost, right? That was a sunk cost. You got to move on. So the neat part to kind of echo what they've said is be willing to change, be flexible. The world that you all live in is a wonderful time to be alive. And what I tell my kids is, if you like change, it's a great time to be alive. If you don't like change, it's a terrifying time to be alive, right? It is. So the cool part is you can be anything you want. You can do anything you want. And you can take the skills that you learn here in school, and when you go to a company, you can expand upon that. But the key part of that is make sure you ask questions. Learn as you're there. I learned a lot about finance. I have no finance background whatsoever. But at Coke, I was able to get in with some of our finance people, and they could then educate me on that 1 + 1 = 2, right? So I couldn't do that before. I know how to get an airplane to go up and how to get an airplane to go down, but I don't know how to do math. So the point of that is have them teach you when you get into those careers, and that's what will differentiate you from other people, is by taking information and learning and being humble and trying to learn what's available to you. I don't know if that answers any of the questions or not.
I mean, I have something to add because, like, but